Vikram from Jet Level.
Hi, Vikram. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Is it a good time for the interview?
Yeah, we can talk.
Yeah, sure. So, Jitendra, I was going through your profile. Can you please brief me about yourself, your total experience, and the experience with DBA, and your daily roles and responsibilities as a DBA?
Yeah, sure. So myself, Jitendra, and I have 5.4 years of experience in SQL Server Database Administration. Currently, I'm working with Synecram, and prior to that, I worked for Pulse. So coming to my day-to-day activities, it's a 24/7 production support, where I have experience with various versions of SQL Server like 2005, 2008, R2, and 2012. So, uh, so basically, it's a 24/7 support model where I have involved in handling incidents and taking care of changes, taking care of regular maintenance activities along with end-to-end SQL monitoring. So when I say incidents, so like any SQL Server related issue like job failures, backup issues, any issues with high availability solutions or any database corruption related things, user access related problems or SQL Server performance related issues. For all these things we get incidents. So then we also take care of changes like installing and configuring new SQL servers and configuring new backups and scheduling the jobs and also moving the data from prod to dev for testing purpose. And also have very good exposure with backup and recovery, migrations and upgradations. Have involved in upgrading SQL Server from lower to higher versions and migrating databases from one server to another server and good knowledge with applying service packs and queues and that fixes. And then um, have involved in configuring high availability solutions like log shipping, mirroring, transaction replication, clustering, for newly added databases, and I have very good knowledge with always on concepts. And then,
Your voice is very low, Jitendra.
one second. Is it better now?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay. So I have involved in setting up maintenance activities for index maintenance and updating the statistics and moving the databases among different drives if there are any disk related issues and performance and cleanup activities like job history cleanup, maintenance jobs cleanup, and also backup retention cleanup. And restarting SQL Server when there is any Windows level infrastructural changes are occurring, and also have good experience with setting up alerts and we have alert set up for all the environment for monitoring, and something goes wrong with any particular uh, thing that we get an automated alert and then we jump into the server to start troubleshooting the things. So that's, and I have very good experience with ITAL best practices like change management, incident management, all those things. Yeah, that's a little brief about myself.
Okay. So, you mentioned you have worked on performance tuning issues, right?
Yes, yeah.
So, what all are the causes of performance issues? Given a query is running very slow,
Yeah.
it was running fine yesterday and it's running slow.
Yeah.
So, what would be the probable cause and how would you troubleshoot that?
Yeah, definitely. So the first thing we look at, so when any customer or client or application teams comes to us saying that their queries are have started running slow suddenly. So in such cases, we check few things at server level, like we check are there any blockings or deadlocks are occurring, and we check the fragmentation on the indexes, like by running DM underscore DB underscore physical index stats, and it will give us the index fragmentation and associated tables, and then if required we go for index maintenance, like the fragmentation is over 30%, then we go for index table, and if it is between 10 to 30%, we go for index TR, and if it is and then we do see the statistics when they are updated last time, if they are not updated. If they are not up to date, we go ahead and update the statistics. And also we do see any long running sessions are consuming more CPU and more CPU as the memory, and we try to find such queries by running DBCC open runner, by running DM underscore DB underscore ESCC request. So we will kind of perform analysis at server level, what exactly running at that point of time, and if required, we go ahead and kill some of the transactions which are the culprits. And then if nothing can be done in the server level, then next thing that we do is we take that piece of code to the dev environment, and we start profiler with appropriate events added, and then we try to capture all the execution plan, and we try to see if there are any new indexes needs to be built, and we give that the trace output to the DTA, and whatever the sessions comes out of DTA, and we analyze and we implement those sessions in dev environment. And if we see good improvement with that, then we plan to move those changes to the production. So apart from that, we work with our developers, we engage developers, and we work together. If there is any need of a code change, like if the most of the developers write their queries very complex, like they write joins, one single join and too many tables, and we recommend them to break it into the different small pieces and put the results into temporary table, and write one command join at the end to make the queries to run faster. So like that, if there are any cursors are being used, we recommend them not to go with the cursor, and we recommend them appropriate alternative solutions. So that's how we work for the performance related issues.
Okay, and if there is no blocking, then there are still queries running slow and indexes are also fine.
Okay.
I've checked the update statistics, and the statistics are also updated. So what is the command for updating the statistics?
So it says underscore update stats.
So, and what do you do the entire, or do you pass some sampling?
So we will give the table name as an input, and we have stored procedures. Basically, it's a custom stored procedure, and for that we will give a table name as a parameter, and it will update statistics only for that particular table.
Okay, and with what number of rows?
So it's not just rows. So we just give a table name as a parameter for the stored procedure.
Okay. Suppose my stats are also updated. Indexes are not fragmented.
Yeah.
So what else would you check?
So and then the CPU and memory utilization. So if the CPU is running at 90% of the memory is consumed, so then we try to see if there is any memory pressure in the buffer pool, and then we try to pull the information with the help of some of the DMVs like sys underscore voice underscore inverse and voice underscore weight class and weight types. And by evaluating the appropriate weight space, we can come to know whether it is something related to CPU or something related to memory or IO. And if it is external to our SQL server, then we can conclude and we can proceed accordingly.
Okay. And have you worked on replication?
Yes.
Okay. Which replication?
Transaction replication.
Any idea about snapshot?
Yes.
Okay. What are the agents involved?
Replication itself, the snapshot also there, like for initial synchronization purpose, snapshot agent will be executed and it will take care of initialization. In the transaction replication, basically, the snapshot agent will be there, log reader, and distribution agent will be there.
What's the role of log reader agent?
So log reader agent will be running continuously and watching for whatever the new transactions coming at the publisher side. So whenever it finds new transaction, it takes the transaction, it will send the transaction to distributor.
Okay, and how would you identify that? Suppose given that I have run some certain set of commands on the publisher,
okay,
but those are not yet applied at the subscriber.
So we can find the latency. We can find the latency from the replication monitor, and we can see whether how much delay is there from publisher to subscriber and subscriber to distributor to identify the commands, and we can we can query the command from distribution database. Like there will be tables got ripple commands and ripple statements, and we can put a small join, and we can retrieve those commands from
how would you exactly trace which command is missing in the subscriber?
So for that, like when you go to replication monitor and when you click on particular subscriber, and there will be a synchronization of the related stuff, and from there we can get the command ID and the exact sequence number. When you give that command ID and exact sequence number to browserable command, and we'll get to know exact object and the command of the more information. So in case, say for example, sometimes in our case we get errors like do not found error or the primary key violation errors. And when you see those errors and the data will not get replicated to that particular subscriber, and it will be marked as a red. So, and we get exact sequence number and the command ID, and we give that to the REPL command store procedure, and from there we can get exact row ID and the target object target table, and we can perform like required operations on the target table to eliminate these primary key violation and do not found errors. That's how we can identify the exact commands which are having trouble.
Okay, have you worked on always on?
Yeah, always on I have a good experience, good knowledge, but hands-on I have very little experience, but I can take care of things if I get an opportunity.
What's the prerequisite of configuring databases into always on?
So database must be in full recovery model, and it should be in read-write fashion, and we need to have a full backup taken for the database, and we need to have a Windows failover cluster needs to be set up, and we need to have different nodes for different replicas.
And can the nodes be in different domains?
Different domain. No, I think it should be in same domain to work the failover cluster.
Have you tried it? Like,
no, I have not tried. I'm just
okay, it can be. Have you like if we need to like have you like registered SPN before configuring? And what is SPN and what is its role while configuring the always on?
SPN. So I'm not involved in, as I mentioned, I have not got a chance to configure always on. So, but I have a theoretical conceptual knowledge. So
Okay.
that's it.
Do you know listener in always on what is it?
So basically server name that we can configure to which replica the request has to get read over. Like there will be application intent, yes, and then that will give application intent as a read only, and automatically whatever the listener server name that we use it will propagate client connections to that particular replica. It is basically kind of performing load balancing.
Okay. And how would have you configured log shipping in 2012?
Yes.
2012.
Not 2012, in 2008. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. How would you configure log shipping in 2008?
So to configure log shipping, so we need two servers, one is a primary and secondary. And first we need to, and also we need to have two share folders, like one for primary and one for secondary. And we need to perform initial synchronization with the backup, taking full backup and restoring it in the secondary database with secondary server with no recovery. Then we can configure log shipping by right-clicking on the primary database. There will be a log shipping option, and we need to enable that as a primary server. And then when you configure three different sets of jobs will be created, like backup, copy, restore. Backup job will be created in primary. It takes care of taking transaction log backup and puts the file to primary share folder. From there, copy job in secondary server will copy that to the secondary share folder, and the restore job will restore from secondary share folder to the secondary database. So it's a cyclic process, and yeah.
Why do you require two folders for the log shipping? Can you use one folder with one share path which both the secondary and primary have?
We can use one, but again, so to make, but we need to have appropriate permissions, I believe, for
let's take an example. I have a folder share on secondary server, and primary also.
Yeah.
So does it require two folders or?
I never tried, but I think it is required two folders. It should work if you have one folder with appropriate permissions. When you run the backup job normally, and it should get required permission on secondary server, and we can give that secondary network path. I think it should work.
But you haven't tried it.
I haven't tried. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go back and try. I'll test that today.
Okay, it's not an issue.
Yeah.
What are work files and TOS files in log shipping?
The TOF is a transaction undo file, so basically maintains all uncommitted transactions from primary database. So it will be created when you have your log shipping secondary database in standby mode, or it will be created in secondary database data location. So work file is something like when you are trying to move copies of files from the primary to secondary. So during that copying period, so whatever the backup files that we have, those files will be created as a work file, and then it will be renamed to TRM files.
Okay. And you mentioned solving deadlock issues. How do you solve deadlock issues?
So deadlocks basically, when it occurs, SQL Server automatically takes care of resolving those deadlocks, and based on the deadlock messages and trace messages, we do perform RCA, and once RCA, based on the RCA, we try to implement certain solutions not to see how we can avoid the deadlock is not to occur again, and depending on the case to case, the solution may vary, and we put appropriate solution to make sure that deadlock doesn't occur again.
What is your analysis and what do you analyze while checking for the deadlock?
Basically, so when you see the deadlock messages, there will be a deadlock victim speed and appropriate code behind that. So we need to perform, like say for example, I have a job A and job B, and job A is supposed to get done by 12 p.m. and at 12:15 job B will start and it will try to use same tables. So unfortunately, job A is going beyond 12:15, and by the time job B has started and it is getting clouded, and the situation leading to a deadlock. So in that case, we do analyze whatever the code behind job A and why it is taking more time, and is there any data volume increase, or are there any performance related issues, and are there any new indexes needs to be designed, and that's how we do analyze and go for such recommendations.
What exactly do you analyze? You mentioned we analyze the code. What exactly analyzing the code?
That's what. So we check the execution plan, and so as I mentioned in the performance tuning part, and we check the execution plan, and we try to identify the exact statement which is more time consuming, and so if you find any particular statement is the culprit, and we run that through the profiler, and we try to see the execution plan, and what operations it is doing in the execution plan. Are there any table scans and are index scans, and also are there any too many lookups is occurring, and based on that we try to eliminate lookups and by including required columns to existing index. And so if it is raw ID lookups, and we try to create another non-clustered index, like that, yeah.
What are lookups?
Lookups is like when you have, there are like key lookups and the raw ID lookups. There is two different types of lookups. We have when you have a table with both clustered and non-clustered index. And when you are trying to use non-clustered index, and it will go and look up the required data from clustered index. So in such cases, from key lookup operations. So when you have only non-clustered index with no clustered index, and it has to get the data direct data rows, and it will have a pointer to direct data rows, and it will perform raw ID lookups.
Okay. Sure. So that's it from my side. So do you have any questions from your side?
Thank you so much, Vikram. It was nice talking to you. So
before moving on, I would like to ask, If yeah, like if you are selected, so how soon can you join?
I can
And
join in
what's
10
the
days.
reason?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the reason of leaving Cinicrum?
So I'm looking for permanent position. I'm a contractual employee with Cinecran, and my contract is getting over with the January end, so I'm looking out for new opportunity.
So you can join in 10 days, right?
Yes, yeah.
And just for information, what is your current citizen? What are you expecting?
So I'm taking 5.4 lakhs, and I'm expecting about 20 to 30%.
20 to 30%.
Yeah.
Can that be negotiated?
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
Salary
sure.
is not a matter, so because my contract is getting over, I'm looking for some
And
permanent opportunity.
you're basically from Pune or you're based out?
I'm from Telangana.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're comfortable working in Pune, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, no, sure. Sure, I will share my feedback with the HR and
Okay.
they will get back to you.
Thank you, Vikram. Have a great day.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Bye.